My name is Jackie Paul, and this is my brother Kent McComb. We are the daughter and son of Lynn McComb, who is a veteran, and this is for the Veterans History Project in partnership with the Office of Congressman Blake Moore. Today is November 20th, 2023, and we are holding this interview at the Catalyst Center in Kaysville, Utah.
Awesome. Dad, we're going to talk a little bit about some biographical details. So first, Dad, where were you born?
I was born in Tremont, Utah, March 20th, 1933.
33. So that would make you 90.
90.
Just celebrated 90.
Awesome, yes. Dad, tell us about your parents and their names and what their occupations were.
Yeah, my mom and dad were Lottie Peterson McComb was my mother, and my dad was Walter Dan McComb. And my dad was mostly worked in construction, building highways. I was born during the Depression time, so wherever there was a job, that's where you moved. We'd lived in Idaho, Oregon, Washington, back to Utah, wherever you could find a job. If you didn't have a job, you didn't eat. So.
And that's when I remember you telling us Grandpa worked on the Bonneville Dam up there.
Oh, yeah.
Got a job doing that up there.
About 1937, they were building Bonneville Dam out on the Columbia River there at Hood River, and he was a crane operator there, and lifting all the steel and whatever was needed then. Yeah.
That's great. What did Grandma do? What did your mom do?
Well, she lived on a farm in East Tremont, and they helped on the farm a lot, and mostly raising 4 kids.
That's a full-time job in itself.
Yeah.
Didn't she work at Hillfield at one time?
Yeah, well, during World War II, she worked at the Ogden Arsenal. It was a big deal back then. Hey, there's a war going on, and loading ammunition, .30 caliber ammunition for the machine guns and what have you.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember a story that she would tell that things would get so bad she'd look in the cushions of the couch or the car to see if there was a dime to buy a yeast cake.
Oh yeah. Go out. Had an old Model A Ford sedan, and go out and take the back seat out and see if you can find a nickel to buy a couple yeast cakes so we can make some bread then. And,
wow.
Yeah. Times were tough.
Yeah. Dad, tell us about your siblings.
Well,
their names and.
Yeah, I was the youngest. Had 2 brothers and a sister. The oldest brother was, we called him Danny, named after the dad. And then the sister was next. We were all 2 years apart.
Your sister was Betty.
Betty, yeah, and then I had a brother, his really name was Charles, but we called him Bus for some reason. I don't know how he come up with that.
Don't know how he got that name, huh?
Yeah.
That's funny. Did any of them serve in the military?
Yeah, the oldest brother, Danny, World War II was still going on when he graduated from high school. So the day they graduated, he and 2 or 3 of his friends went down and joined the Navy. And he served his 2 years there, got out of the Navy, and come back and went to Weber. It was a junior college back then. Went there for a couple of years, and then he went up to Utah State.
Okay.
While he was up there, he got in the Air ROTC, and when he graduated, they had to go in the Air Force. Had to serve your 3 years. So his first assignment was out at Mountain Home out by Boise, and that's where he met his wife. But after he served his 3 years, they thought, hey, 2 in the Navy, 3 in the Air Force, 15 years, I can retire. So he retired out of the Air Force. I think he was Major, Lieutenant
yeah.
Colonel.
Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome. What was life like growing up with your family? And
Oh yeah, like I said, we depression's on, and we're moving all over the.
Yeah.
What's some of your most vivid memories
Yeah.
growing up?
When we were living in Hood River, there was a little creek there called Eagle Creek. It's still there, and we were out playing. I fell into that creek and started drifting down, and my Danny, the oldest brother, run down there, and there was a log across the creek. When I come drifting by, he grabbed me by the hair and pulled me out. And
How old were you?
I was about maybe 3 or 4.
Oh,
Yeah,
I'm glad he got you,
Had-
or we
had-
wouldn't be here.
Thank heavens. Huh?
yeah.
And that's something you didn't ever tell Grandma and Grandpa until later,
Oh
right?
yeah. They took all my clothes off and let them dry before they'd take me home.
Oh, that's funny. So you, I know we've heard stories about you on the farm growing up and out
Oh yeah,
loading,
yeah.
baling hay, and man,
Yeah.
that's
Yeah, right at the end of the war, my dad bought a farm out in Jerome and had 280 acres. And Bus, the younger brother, he and I had 100 acres of potatoes, and every time you watered, the ground was sandy, and you had to cultivate. Yeah. So our job was cultivate the spuds. That's what I call them.
how old were you then, Ben?
Probably maybe fifth or sixth grade.
Oh,
Yeah.
my goodness.
11 or 12.
So you're
yeah.
out driving the equipment, and
Oh yeah.
that's awesome.
Every kid's dream.
I know, exactly. Oh, well, that's cool. So as far as your schooling, we knew you went to Ogden High, and didn't you, was it Washington Junior High you went to?
But the first school I went to, we was living in Pioneerville up in Boise Basin, and
Okay.
it was a one-room schoolhouse. They had kindergarten up till about the 8th grade, I think it was,
All together in the
Yeah.
room, yeah.
in one room.
Uh-huh.
Same teacher taught everything. But I think I was only about, Parley Dean, they had a daughter, Shirley, and I think she was 6. Well, Mom wanted me down there, so I was in the kindergarten at 5 years, but all we did, play in the sandbox and talk to the goat that was chained up outside the door.
Was it Grandma that I know you told us the story, but maybe you remind us that she wanted you to be in school, but you weren't quite old enough, so
Oh yeah,
told you.
that was at the D school.
Okay.
Yeah, she was working, and hey, I got to hire a babysitter. So instead of I was 5, she put me down to 6.
You had to go to school a year early.
So I'd go down to school, and the next year, so, well, I'll put the real age down. And anyhow, the principal got a hold of her. And, well, Lynn, he's kind of small, so maybe it'd be better if he did the first grade again. So the teacher's name was Miss Bugby, and so second time around, it was pretty good. Hey, assistant teacher, or whatever. Yeah, it was fun.
Good.
And we hear some Ogden High stories, and you still have some reunions that you go to for that, right? And
You just had one, didn't you?
yeah.
Oh yeah. Well, they had class reunions, but some of here just a month or so ago, some of my friends that hey, they're most of them aren't alive, but anyhow, there was 5 of us. We got together and had some breakfast over at the Sills over in Layton.
Nice.
How many were there?
There was 5 of us, and the only other 2 I could even think of was Gene Mayfield, who's down in California, and Lee Erickson. As far as I know, they're still alive.
Okay.
Yeah. So going back to your service, did you have any jobs before you went into the service? Other than working on the farm and all that?
Well, yeah. When I got drafted, I was working nights at Hill Air Force Base. I call it the airplane patch, but
We still do, don't we?
but I'd work there at nights in the motor pool and go to school in the daytime. And then I didn't have a full credit hour, so I was eligible to be drafted. And, that's when I got drafted. 1953.
Wow. We're proud of you.
Yes.
Pops.
How old were you when you were drafted?
I was 19.
So I remember in your box you had a picture. There were 4 young men that said what did it say? The first 4 to be drafted.
Well, yeah, there was a picture that there was maybe 10 or 12 of us. We were the first 19-year-olds drafted since World War II. So, yeah, that.
And this was for the Korean. This was during the Korean War, right?
Yeah, that was the Korean War.
Okay, all right. So, how did Grandma and Grandpa, how did your parents feel when you went into the Army?
Well, I don't know. They might have been glad to get rid of me, but
Oh.
yeah, they were good about it. And the old Danny being in the Air Force, then they were used to it.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So when you had met Mom at that time, so tell us a story about what you 2 did. You got married before or went after, or tell us kind of your storyline of when you were drafted.
Yeah, when I went in the service, I got engaged before I went down there. Hey, I don't want that good-looking girl running around town.
That's right. So
Yeah.
when did you get married?
So when I finished basic training, 16 weeks of basic, when I came home on leave, we got married. But basic training, some of them was 8 weeks, the infantry was 16 weeks. And we learned to fire about every gun you imagined, but M1 and the carbine and the Browning automatic rifle and the recoilless rifle and the bazooka and fire mortars and
Is that at Fort Ord? Was that Fort Ord?
yeah,
That was
at
basic,
Fort
yeah.
Ord,
Yeah.
the firing part, that was kind of fun.
Yeah.
They had a rifle range out there that you'd big sand hill, the ocean's just on the other side. And some of the guys missed the targets and those bullets hitting that sand. And
Were you good? Were you a good marksman?
yeah, I think a sharpshooter, they had a marksman and a sharpshooter and then an expert, I think, made sharpshooter.
That's pretty darn
Oh, I
good.
didn't ever know that.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, me
okay.
neither.
Yeah, they'd fire 100 yards, 200 yards, and 300 yards.
That's awesome.
That's neat. So when you left, when you and Mom were married, did you take Mom with you then to, and where did you go?
No, we got married, we went up to Yellowstone for a few days, and then when I went in there, I'd signed up for leadership school and OCS, and after about 7 or 8 weeks of that basic training, I went down and, hey, take my name off that list, damn. And then later they called me down, had a little bit of college, and hey, how about going to the adjutant general school? And hey, that's good. I'll do that. And so that was back in Indianapolis. Well, it was really at Anderson, Indiana, just north of it. But yeah, that Fort Benjamin Harrison, it was a finance and personnel management school.
Wow.
So, and I was in the personnel managed part of it. So the rest of my service time, we looked after personnel, keeping all the records up to date, promotions, awards, commendations.
Was Mom with you back there? Or was she
No,
home?
no,
Okay.
that was no wives allowed.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
All right. You got to keep your mind on business, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So which branch of the military?
It was in the Army, yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I know during Memorial Day and when they play all those different branch songs, that's pretty emotional, isn't
Oh,
it?
yeah, there's World War II and Korean War, there's not too many of them that stand up and be recognized. Damn, look around and, ooh,
Yeah.
very few.
Yeah, the memorial's back in Washington. You've seen the Korean one, haven't you?
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
I think I was with you when we did that.
Yeah.
That was great. So after you finished all your basic training, then what happened?
Well, when we finished basic training, then we got out of the personnel school. My next assignment was at Camp Stoneman, it's in California,
Okay.
Pittsburgh, California. And that was a replacement center for guys going to the Far East and coming back. And so they'd bring them into San Francisco on a ship with 3,000 or 4,000 guys, people, some were women in the military, and we'd process them through. They'd get them reassigned. We had to make the orders, pick them up on the morning reports, and get them sent off to different bases. Yeah.
So you were,
What was your most vivid memory of basic training or the schooling that you had there?
Oh, I don't know if you've heard the GI parties. Oh yeah, hey, the company commander, he's coming around and inspect, get this place shaped up, wash all the windows and mop the floors and all that. It's good to get rid of that kind of stuff.
yeah, right.
What was the worst part of being away and doing all this?
Yeah, you're just missing your family.
Yeah.
You meet a lot of nice people, but it's not like your family.
Not like now where you can Zoom and FaceTime and email and everything.
Oh yeah.
You had snail mail. And
Hey, when we got to Korea, well, before worked about 4, maybe 5 months at Camp Stoneman, and then they closed it down. Anybody that had over a year to go before they were released or discharged, they sent them to Korea. Well, I was one of the lucky guys that, hey, going to Korea, but I got to get a leave. Came home for a week or two before I went over there, and then I had to go back down to San Francisco. Well, before I went to San Francisco, I had to go to Camp Stoneman and be where I used to work, and then I'm being shipped out of there for Korea. And we got on the ship, the USNS General Gordon. It was a pretty nice ship, but we left on April 1st, April Fool's Day. Sailed under that Golden Gate Bridge. Hey, this is no joke.
No.
I'm really going, huh?
Yeah,
How long did it take you to get there?
we were on that ship from San Francisco to Yokohama, Japan, 2 weeks.
Wow.
2 weeks on that ship, and there's nothing to do on that ship, and the bunk's about 4 or 5 high. It's where you slept. A lot of continuous card games, poker games, that kind. Yeah.
Let you go ahead.
So it's not like the cruise ships we know today, right?
Oh yeah. No.
Other than the card games.
On the ships, you don't sit down to eat. You stand up, and that ship's rocking. The trays sliding this way and then back the other way. Hope you get the same tray coming back.
Wait a minute, I didn't have that.
So you went from Japan then to Korea.
Yeah, what
Okay.
we let some Air Force guys off in Yokohama. Then we went down to Sasebo, Japan, and had to turn in all our suntan clothes, keep the fatigues. But in Korea, they had wool uniforms that were wool. They're like fatigues, but you wore them in the winter. And hey, it got cold there. You needed them, but then you had to exchange all your money for what they called military payment certificates, because they didn't want greenbacks floating around Japan and Korea. So,
Yeah. Interesting.
but then we was Sasebo for 4 or 5 days maybe, and then got back on the same ship, General Gordon, and drove over to sailed over to Busan, Korea. Got off the ship, duffel bags. Here's all these Korean guys there. Get your duffel bag. They had what they called an A-frame, and they, instead of toting that thing, they'd put 4 or 5 on that A-frame, haul them over to the train. We had to catch a train from Busan up to a place they called Yeongdong-po. It was up around Incheon. Incheon was just west of Seoul. And from there, it was a replacement center, this Yeongdong-po place. And me and myself and this other fellow, we got transferred right back down to Busan. We were assigned to so I got to ride that train back. The train had a potbelly stove in there to keep you warm. Excuse me. But rode that same train back, and we were assigned to the 5th Regimental Combat Team. And our camp was just a little bit north of Busan.
Okay.
But
And is that where you stayed your whole time in Korea from there to the end? Or?
no, we stayed there maybe 5 or 6 months. I can't remember. And then the regimental combat team was moved back to Fort Lewis, Washington, and we didn't have much time to go, so we got sent up to 8th Army headquarters up in Seoul.
Okay. I didn't know that. Oh.
Yeah, well, but that combat team, some of the guys that didn't go to Fort Lewis with them, they went to Hawaii, on Oahu, the Schofield Barracks.
Okay.
I knew
That'd be fun.
three or 4 of the guys we worked with. They went to Hawaii. Some went back to Fort Lewis, and my friend and I, we got to go up to Seoul. His name was Larry Ochiltree.
Ochiltree. We remember Ochiltree.
We've seen pictures of Ochiltree.
Oh yeah. We got up 8th Army headquarters and said, well, hey, we filled your jobs and you guys are assigned. You're going to look after the 443rd quartermaster. Their personnel, or in in their personnel section. But hey, the office we worked in was right in Seoul.
Okay.
We were in a camp out, probably 12, 14 miles north, out by the Han River. So to get to work every day, had a 2.5 ton truck. They'd load us all on the back of the truck, take us down to work, bring us back at night.
Now, is that where you met Do Soup?
Yeah,
Your friend there?
we were staying in eight-man tents.
Okay.
They had, they were nice tents. Had a white liner inside of them and a wood floor, 2 pot-belly stoves, one on each end, and keep you warm. Because that was getting winter time. That was cold there. And each tent, they had a houseboy. You'd shine your shoes and sweep the floor and take your dirty clothes down to Mama Son. She'd get them down in the creek and beat them with a paddle and starch them up and iron them. And oh man,
Okay.
they did a good job.
So when you were there, I'm sure they had like the mess hall. What types of foods did you eat? Korean food or did you eat American food?
They had pretty good food then, because we went in and we got to sit down, and they had these Korean girls that would wait on you and bring your food. And what was each day, the food that was left over, hey, let those Korean people take it home. Instead of going in the garbage. Hey, anyhow, we had a company commander there on that camp. I'll never forget him, Captain Singer. Say, we're not going to give those Koreans that food that's wasted. We're not going to let them take it home. So, hey, well, if they don't get to take it home, we're going to have to do KP, do the dishes and all this. So we made a big stink about that. And hey, on second hand, you guys can go ahead and take the food home and put them back to work.
So what was happening at home when you were in Korea? Something big.
Oh, yeah.
Big so.
Jackie, I was still down at Pusan. I got a telegram, 12 July, 53, or 54. You're the proud owner of a...
Owner?
proud owner of a baby girl. Yeah, she was 12 July. And I don't know whatever happened to that telegram. I wish I had it.
It might turn up somewhere.
Yeah, probably in that box.
But Mom, she was my Dale and wife. She would every day she wrote me a letter, and go up for mail call. Hey, McComb. Everybody wondered. Hey, he gets a letter every day. We get one maybe once a month or something. Oh, dude.
And it probably took a while for mail to get over there, right?
Hey.
A couple weeks.
Hey, yeah, I don't know if they flew it over or sent it on a slow boat. But postage was free. You'd APO 52 and just mark free.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that you look back on it, and some pretty good times. Met a lot of nice friends, and
Was the war, so the war was just about over at that time?
oh yeah, hey, when we were on our honeymoon in Yellowstone, they declared a peace there, armistice, or that was 27 July 53. So, yeah, when we got to Korea, it was just like an occupation thing. They were still cleaning up. I'll never forget that state or the Capitol building there in Seoul. That thing had been. They went through Seoul, pushed them south, and then they pushed them forward, north, south again, and then north. That thing was been bombed, and great big I-beams up on for the roof and ceiling, and man, they were easy 12 inches thick, and they'd been bombed, and we went. They had that place with the glass was all melted, flamethrowers and what have you. Papers still in there, scattered all over. I don't know if they rebuilt that.
I'm sure it's beautiful now, whatever's there.
Hey, we driving around there. Nobody had automobile, a car. All the roads, they were dirt, just dirt roads. The only paved roads seen the whole time I was in Korea was right downtown Seoul. But now they manufacture cars there, the Kia and the Hyundai. And they had the Olympics over there. Well, I forget, around 88 along in there. And look, they got freeways. And when I was there, they were shacks with grass roofs. Not many people had a house that really had a ceiling on the thing, or a good roof.
So looking back on your military service, how has that affected your life? I mean, and what your beliefs you're proud of, military service you gave, as well as
Oh yeah,
other people.
you're really proud of your service. But hey, I did some good for the country, and see that you're proud of the country you live in.
What was it? So, when you were the last day there, you thought, "Hey, you get to go home, right?"
Oh,
How was that day?
Yeah, yeah. We left there on I think it was the 31st of January, 55.
So would it have been
That
winter
was-
over there or summer? Is that winter over there?
Would be winter.
Oh yeah,
Winter over there. Okay.
It was cold.
It was cold,
Yeah,
okay.
we got all ready to go, duffel bags full, and then everything. Had a great big semi, and they took us over to Incheon, and the ship really wasn't very good ship, called the Marine Phoenix. Instead of having 2 stacks on it like the General Gordon did, had one on the back, and the tide was so low in that bay that they had to put us on landing barges and take us out to that ship. And I can't remember if we had to climb up a rope to get up on that. I don't remember doors where you walked in a door like these cruise ships.
Interesting.
But anyhow, we left there 31st of January, and we're not going straight across to San Francisco. We're going up around in the Japanese current, up around the Aleutian Islands, and down the coast of United States into San Francisco. And yeah, that seems like the shortcut, all right. But that was another 2 weeks.
Wow.
On the 14th of February, they come around, hey, wake up, wake up. You can see the Golden Gate Bridge.
I'll bet that was emotional. When you saw that.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, that never looked so good.
No.
But we got in there on Valentine's Day. They left on April Fool's, got back on Valentine's.
Mm-hmm.
They put us on and got off the ship there, and they put us on a train and back down to Fort Ord, where we had basic training, and that's where we got separated, or taken off active duty and put on the reserve.
So just
And hey, where's the discharge? The paper. Oh, well, you're just being transferred from active duty to the reserve. So we're in ready reserve for 2 years and standby for 4 years. That's what it was. So I finally got a certificate, served in the military in 1961. Got out in 55, but a discharge certificate in 61.
another good year.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, yeah, you were born, huh?
Oh, by the way.
Yeah, that Golden Gate Bridge never looked so good. Whoa.
So in the reserves, so you were able to come back home and.
Oh yeah, well, I was telling Mom this morning. I got a phone call when we'd been released, and I can't remember if it was the reserve or the National Guard. Somebody called me from there and said, "Hey, see you got an MOS of 1290. 1290. You're a personnel manager. Why don't you come out and join us?" I went, "Well, sounds good, but I don't think so." I was kind of liking the civilian life.
Were you working at Hill Air Force Base after that? Did you start?
Yeah, after, well, we went down to California for a week or two, and Betty's sister lived in Santa Monica. Maybe we'd find a good job down there. No? Nothing looked all that great, so I come back and went to work back out at Hill Air Force Base.
Stayed there how many years?
Oh, gee.
A lot of years.
Yeah, well, from 55 to 1989.
Wow.
Yeah,
That's a great career.
yeah.
Yeah. Oh my goodness.
There's a question here that I like. It says, what message would you like to leave for future generations who will view or hear this interview? So as if you were talking to your grandkids or great-grandkids, what message would you want to?
Well, hey, you know what I see going on nowadays is no respect for the country, burning flags, and I don't like this, and all this political fighting, and you drive by those veterans cemeteries and see the guys that gave their lives for this country, and what they're trying to do to it now. I don't like that.
No. We love the country we live in, huh?
Yep.
And appreciate all those who served.
I'll say, yeah. We're proud of you, Pops.
We are.
Man,
We are.
amazing your memory too. You can remember
Hey,
all this. I can't remember you last year.
hey, I can remember way back when, but what happened yesterday or the day before was a little hard to recall.
So before we end, is there anything else that you remember you'd like to share, or?
Well,
How old was I when you saw me?
you were
Most
when I
exciting
got
day ever.
home in the first what 8 months.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Hey. I'll tell you how you come up with that name, Poncho.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
I always called her Poncho.
Mhm.
We had there was a guy he's from Puerto Rico. He was a Jeep driver, the whole company commander around. Anyhow, his name was Poncho.
I always wondered that.
Yeah.
I
Did
thought,
you
that's
ever
an
know that?
interesting
Yeah.
I
name, though.
didn't know that.
By the way, my name isn't Poncho, it's Jackie.
Hey,
Oh, that's awesome.
Dale sent a picture of her holding Jackie and a picture, a big picture of Jackie. And then, hey, Do Soup, his name, the houseboy, his name was Pac Do Soup. And hey, Do Soup, look at this. That looked like Miss America. And he says, looks boysome. Didn't have a whole lot of hair.
Yeah, that was still cute.
Yeah.
Dad, what do you wish more people knew about veterans?
Hey, you know, one day out of the year they get all kinds of respect, but the other 364 days, who cares? Every time I see those veteran cemeteries and all those crosses, and oh man, they deserve a whole lot of respect.
Every day, right?
If
Every
it
day.
wasn't for them, this country wouldn't be free.
Mhm.
Families sacrificed a lot, didn't they?
Yeah, oh
For
yeah.
service of our country.
Yeah.
And
Had a cousin got shot over in Germany, and had an uncle that fighting Rommel, World War II. Rommel was the German tank commander guy, and his tank, the uncle's tank, got blown up. He had a stainless steel plate put in his head.
Leonard,
Yeah, what people killed or injured or it's, you think about that, what made this, kept this country free,
Mhm.
they,
Yep, and
they
all-
deserve a lot of
I'll
respect.
say.
And all those who are serving now,
Uh-huh.
helping our country and
Yeah,
worldwide. We'll end it. We'll end it. Anything else?
Yeah. Any other memories?
Anything else you
no,
wanna
I,
share?
I
Pops?
think, I get done, I probably think of a whole
I-
lot of things.
Like we always do. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks for letting us be part of this with you, Dad.
Yeah, my
Said-
pleasure, man.
We are love you and proud of you, and
Yeah.
and
We are.
it's been great over the years through our childhood and growing up to hear all the stories, and we even heard some new ones today. So it's been awesome.
I think your service and everything is exemplified in the way you've lived your life and what we've watched you do all your life, and you continue to serve everybody, your family and people around you, and we're so proud of you and love you.
Love you.
Love you too.
Well, thanks.
Thanks, Pops.